Hello. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 1, 2. How are you? I know that this is last minute. I don't know if anybody's going to make it, but got CH. Oh, good. Isabel U3S, I'm excited that you're here. So how is everybody's day? Good. I was on with Miss Salty Sleuth this morning, went and did a bunch of stuff I needed to get done. And then I started thinking, maybe I need to just brain dump some of the information I came across last night with regard to the ongoing bizarre situation with the hidden true crime, Lauren, John, but increasingly the family, Lauren's family. Now, I'm going to talk about a few things that I came across today, and some of it's connected. I don't know what is and is not necessarily, but I think I'm maybe catching some of what's going on here. For people that don't know, the whole thing with Lauren and John, hidden true crime, losing their marbles. And everybody has been trying to position it as some sort of drama. Salty, hey, hi, Brian. Hello, cat lady. Hey, hi. I know, impromptu, last minute. Hello. Hi. Yeah, I just couldn't get enough of you goddamn people. Picking up what you're putting down. All right. Ooh, hey, unindicted. Hello. Yeah, so I took a little study break from talking to Salty this morning. Hey, True Crime Butterfly. Hi. Got some of my studying done, and last night I fell down a rabbit hole as I'm listening to my programs, as I'm wont to do, and I came across some legal documents, and in the description of the video, I just put a few points that I want to hit. One of the things that I want to make clear is that I don't see, while whatever happened between Lauren and the ladies behind the scenes may have been drama, but what I am coming to learn and understand is that it's not drama. I mean, I know it hasn't been drama because of the way families have been impacted. Vallows, Colby, Ryan, and I'm sure there's others out there that are deeply impacted by what has happened. What continues to show itself to me, though, is the criminality of the Johnson family. And, back when all of this first started happening, I mean, it feels like 100 years ago. When was the 9-year live heard around the world? Hi, Miss Soap. Hello. When was that? Like a month ago, 2 months ago? I'm not even sure I know. Hi. Hello. I know, 2 streams in one day. Stupid. I know. A classic overthinker. Just want to say hello. Hi, True Crime Butterfly. I know we got Salty in here, unindicted. Let me crack on. Oh, yeah, the Rico gang. And the thing is that I think the latest thing about certainly the Rico gang, and I think that, Lauren's father lost his license to practice law in Utah, subsequently lost his license to practice in New York State because he failed to notify the bar here in New York. So that because of something real estate scammy, right? Now, yes. So yeah. Hey, Mar. The fake lawyer. So, look, how look, I'm just going to get into it because I can't. You people are going to have to help me. Um, thank you, Chelsea. Right? I mean, who among us hasn't done weird shit in our lives? God knows I have. But what was it? And this is what I'm going to say. I'm still looking for that thing, that one thing that scared Dr. John so badly that he said out loud on Lauren's speakerphone, everything's getting ready to crumble down, right? So that their entire, everything they'd built was going to come falling down. Now, I'm still looking for it, but I feel like, they're laying out a lot of breadcrumbs. And yeah, so Dolly, I know, has been doing some of that, right? Johnson, so this is something different. And so I came across, so what is the big thing? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, certainly it's more than smack talking coworkers, or even, unfortunately, smack talking victims and victims' families, which should be enough to get you sort of put on the back foot. But the threat of a livelihood has got to be more than that. And so I know Hella and everybody else has been teasing this out and pulling it apart. But I came across this weird amicus brief. And I came across it today. Let me pull it up. And so an amicus brief, ooh, why the hell am I so big? So an amicus brief is a friend of the court brief, and it's something that's filed usually in Supreme Court cases, but whatever. And you file it when you have an interest in a case. And so I came across looking at Pace Johnson and sort of the timeline of that whole shit show. And I came across an amicus brief that he filed on behalf of an unnamed defendant. Okay, an unnamed defendant that goes by RR, right? RR, and I'm thinking, is this on behalf of a juvenile? Because that typically is something that you will see. You'll see a juvenile unnamed. No, that is not the case. So I want to read you a few things from here. And this was filed, I want you to notice, on April 17th, 2024. Okay. So think back, the fake lawyer was only found out about, I think, the March of 2025, and had been contracting for Pace Johnson law firm for, I don't know how long, it's unclear, but from their statement. So let's go back to that first and talk about that, because that kind of tees this whole thing up. So the statement from the Pace Johnson law, impersonating and fraud case in Utah. Pace Johnson Law Group, we are aware of developing legal matter involving allegations that an individual, Patrick Sullivan, engaged in unauthorized practice of law by impersonating a retired attorney. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We want to confirm that Mr. Sullivan is no longer affiliated with our firm in any capacity. Well, Mr. Sullivan previously worked for our firm as an independent contractor for a limited period. That's pretty nebulous, right? His role was not of that attorney, partner, or employee. So I'm unclear. Was he the janitor? I mean, was he the janitor? So I don't think he was. So based upon publicly available reports from the Utah, see, this just strikes me as a PR nightmare, because the thing is that, sir, he was, unless he was working with a bevy of law firms, it's been reported that, additionally, it's been reported Mr. Sullivan initially represented himself to our firm as a retired attorney, offering pro bono legal services. As with any independent contractor, our firm engaged with Mr. Sullivan for a limited time based on the information provided. We had no reason to believe that he was engaging in unauthorized legal practice at the time. Sorry, wait a minute. His role was not that of an attorney. What the hell does that mean? Huh? He either was or, okay. So anyway, this is gobbledygook. So everybody remembers this, right? So this guy, and again, this date is March 13th, 2025. Well, yeah. So this guy, this Patrick Sullivan or whoever it is, found him, let's see, this is from a news report from KSL. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming something Salt Lake. So Patrick Michael Sullivan, all right, faces charges of impersonating a retired attorney, made court filings. Now, this is the important bit. Made court filings for prison inmates while on parole. So this is important. So we have, number one, the Pace law firm or whatever the hell it is saying, oh no, he wasn't working for an attorney as an attorney, but he acted like a retired attorney, blah, 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 right? Then you have Patrick Michael Sullivan made court filings for prison inmates while on parole. Okay. Now, I just want to say here, one does not have to be an attorney to be pro se. However, if I'm reading between the lines here a little bit, and I think I'm right because of the amicus brief that I'm going to go to in a hot second, that this may have been allegedly, in my opinion, he could have been working on behalf of Pace Law Firm, you know, allegedly maybe as a guy in Utah State Prison. So this dude, 38, arraigned in district court. So it turns out that the investigation began in 2024, and this is important for the timeline. So in July of 2024, Sullivan, who was on parole in Iowa, and I saw Iowa and I'm like, God damn it, I'm going to have to get involved because I'm from Iowa, right? Don't know if he called himself an attorney with the Pace Johnson law firm, but please stand by one moment as we go into this. Patrick Michael Sullivan was charged in 3rd District Court with 2 counts of communications fraud, 2nd-degree felony, plus identity fraud, 7 counts of forgery, 3rd-degree felony. An investigation began in July of 2024. So here's another, writing it down, July 2024. When Sullivan, who was on parole in Iowa, attempted to contact an inmate in the Utah State Prison via video conference by impersonating a retired Utah attorney, according to charging documents. When an attorney wants to video conference with an inmate, the attorney, so he must have been representing himself as an attorney, right? The attorney must identify themselves by face on the video and provide their Utah State bar number. Once that happened, the attorney can then have private conference with their client. In July, he attempted to contact an inmate by impersonating and using the Utah bar credentials of an actual attorney. Okay. So the thing I was like is, so long story short, this guy gets nicked, and I was like, okay, so Iowa, oh God, how the hell does Iowa come into it? And sure enough, Let me see here. Did I close that? Damn it. I did. Well, come to find out that he was, in fact, on parole in Iowa. There's a record of him with the Iowa Parole Board, and he was licensed on an interstate agreement. Now, it didn't list what state he had an interstate parole agreement with, but I don't know. Maybe, could be. Right? Because I was like, video conference from Iowa, that doesn't make sense. But he's on parole from Iowa. And so when I went to look at the parole board information, it was that there was some sort of interstate agreement. So why does any of this matter? Hi, Polygraph. Hi. Hello. Hello, other people coming in. Your sister lives in Manchester, Iowa? United? Let's see. Okay. So there's a background, right? That's the background that I sort of bring into this. And I've found the Amicus Brief that is filed on April 17th of 2024. And this is, again, now we're moving into phase 2, electric boogaloo, of my presentation today. RR, defendant. Why RR? Maybe we'll find out. Pace Johnson files an amicus brief with an interest. Pace Johnson Law Group is an organization now this, oh God, I can't even read it without like losing my shit. The Pace Johnson Law Group is an organization dedicated to upholding the principles of civil rights, including those of due process and fairness in the criminal justice system. Since its founding in 2019, Pace Johnson Law Group has defended constitutional liberties of prisoners, among other individuals. Okay, sure. You bet. Yes, absolutely. Huzzah, sir. That sounds great. That sounds awesome. Pace Law has a vested interest in the outcome of this case as it implicates fundamental principles of due process and the rights of those convicted of crimes and facing incarceration. Psst. It doesn't actually, though. It really doesn't. Moving on. Introduction. Pace Johnson, blurgity blurg, an amicus brief into the Utah Court of Appeals in support of the defendant, appellant RR, in the case of State versus RR. This submission is grounded in our firm's commitment to the protection of civil blurgity blurg justice system. Okay, that sounds great. Now here's the part. Now, if we didn't know everything that we know, that would be an admirable mission. This brief seeks to address the paramount issue of constitutionality and fairness of the current practices regarding disclosure and review of pre-sentence investigation reports. I'm going to pause for effect here. Does anybody know? Does anybody know about pre-sentence investigations and what usually, who conducts those? I don't know. I'm spitballing, y'all. So, moving on. And you'll find out when I go to my other document why this pre-sentence investigation and pre-sentencing report is important in this case. The process of sentencing an individual who has been convicted or pleaded to a crime is not excluded from the strictures of due process. Generating and disclosing a pre-sentence investigation report is a critical element of the sentencing process. Here we agree. Pace. There actually was one done. Federal courts disclosure of pre-sentence investigation reports before sentencing. However, Utah's law falls short of protections of due process, both under the Utah Constitution and the U.S. Constitution, dirtily do. Due process requires disclosure. It was disclosed. I can give you the shortcut there because this was eventually just kicked on down the road. But the interesting thing that came across here to me, there's a couple things. Number one, this RR situation. And actually, hang on one second. Let me look and see. They worked for Utah State. Yeah, that's what it is. This part. So there's and I might have just glossed over that. Maybe some of you caught it. It's been previously served as the exclusive, okay? Pace Johnson Law Group has previously served as the exclusive contracting law firm to provide legal services to prison inmates in the Utah State Prison in Salt Lake City, Utah. Woof, that seems like a great contract. Now, have not been able to go down that rabbit hole just yet because I was like, still, wow, that's interesting. Huh. I don't know how long ago, because as indicated here in this amicus brief, it has previously served. So found in 2019. So we'll have to, dig around in the purchasing department of ye olde state contracts in Utah for prison services. Exclusive contracting law firm. I guess I've not heard of that. Is that a thing? Does anybody know? But again, I was like, what is this? Why the RR, right? Why the RR? Well, hold on to your butts. Because this is gross. This is the gross part where you may want to dip out. I don't know, maybe because it gets real gross. Let me remove this from yield stage. Let me reshare. Stop it. Now we move to the PDF portion of my presentation. Okay, make sure I have the right thing pulled up. So RR, it turns out, is this fella. Now, and I'll bring up, so this is from Ogden, Utah in April of 2008. Can everybody see that? What we have here, and weirdly, okay, just hang on. Reinhardt and Weber County Jail, Ogden. So this is from the Ogden, Utah, something or other. An accused child molester finally turned up in 2nd District Court almost a year after he was charged with 9 child sex offenses. Quote, "We think he was in Las Vegas," end quote, North Ogden Police Chief Polo somebody doodly ding dong said of Roger Dean Reinhardt, 46, now held in Weber County Jail in lieu of $130 bail. All I can tell you is he obviously left town. Attorney Nathan Lyon, who inherited the case from the prosecutor, said. But the thing is that it says continued on 2B. I could not find a page 2B. I found a page 3B. I mean, the thing is that this doesn't comport. So the key takeaway here, and I'll get, again, maybe somebody can find page 2. I went onto newspapers.com. I've got a paid subscription, could not find it. Reinhardt and Weber County Jail. The name you want to know from this is sorry. We think he was in Las Vegas. Sure. Roger Dean Reinhardt. Oh, shit. Did I not put this on the screen? God damn it. Son of a bitch. So now can you see it? I'm sorry. Reinhardt in Weber County Jail. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Top of Utah. This is the Standard Examiner, Ogden. So again, 2008. Do I need to reread that? Nothing? Okay. Sorry. Let's do that again. The Amicus Brief cited in RR, right? Well, RR happens to be this fella. Ogden, Utah, 2008. An accused child molester finally turned up in 2nd District Court almost a year after he was charged with 9 child sex offenses. Quote, we think he was in Las Vegas, end quote. North Ogden Police Chief Polo somebody said of Roger Dean Reinhardt, 46, now held in Weber County Jail in lieu of a $130,000 bail. All I can tell you is he obviously left town. Anyone? Anybody got any input? So, what difference does this make? I don't know. Does it mean anything that an accused child molester was on the lam for a year? Ugh. Hang on a second. I don't know. Talk amongst yourself for a minute. Let me look at, I got to cancel this. Escape out of this. Because to me, it kind of matters, because when they filed into this case, so it's not even the fake lawyer of it all. That's wacko. You bet. That's crazy as hell. Filing into a case, an amicus brief in a case of a person, and let me pull it up, the actual history of this particular crime. Please stand by. Of Roger Reinhardt. So I think it matters because, hang on, let me make sure I got this. I think it matters. Let me just say that. I think it matters because this person, this RR, is a sex offender. He was convicted, and back in 2008, he did get a pre-sentence investigation report. The courts denied his appeals, and here we have Pace Johnson, who is telling us, vis-a-vis his amicus brief, that as the former firm that was the only legal contractor with Utah State Prison, was tossing his hat into the ring in favor of a convicted child sex predator who preyed on a 10-year-old, the daughter of his girlfriend, among other things. Who, oh, by the way, the Ogden newspaper said had nicked off to Las Vegas in 2008. Now, look, Las Vegas is a fine place to try to go escape to. Why not? But it feels real gross. Thoughts? What do you guys have to say? Anybody? Nothing? Wow. I mean, no big deal. I could be totally wrong, man. I could. I could be totally wrong. Does anybody have any thoughts? Anyone? Well, gross, sure. And the thing is that this guy had already been, like, he wasn't a defendant anymore, right? So he had already been adjudicated. He was already serving time. And oh, by the way, he fled, came back. And you're tossing your hat in the ring for this guy after you've had a fake lawyer writing out stuff on behalf of inmates. I don't know, man. Feels real weird. And I too would be very curious to see. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, so let's go a little bit further into this nightmare, because that's going to take some more digging. And I'm sure somebody out there will do a hell of a job digging into the contracts therein. But I want to talk about a couple other things that I found. Does anybody know, and I'm truly asking this, did anybody know what Lauren's middle name is? Because I think it's Ruth. Does anybody? Anybody know? I know it's Johnson now. Let me see. Let me take this down for a minute. Because, let's see, certificate of doodly ding dongs. Okay, so that's right. Okay. You're right. Okay. All right. Because in 2017, let me pull this baby up. Let's see. How far do I want to go back here? So that was sort of the amuse bouche, if you will. And that was for Michael Osbrook, if he's in the chat. That was just me being stupid. But so that whole thing with Pace and blurgity blurg, it was just kind of I wanted to make sure I knew what Lauren's middle name was. Because back in 2017, let's see. Boop, boop, boopy doo. Now, sexual assault and all that stuff is terrible. And, but we're going to steer away from that for a minute and talk about a little real estate-y kind of stuff. Now, this is from, let me put this back up. Here we have from, what the hell? When is this? Okay. So 2/21/2017, we have Matthias L. Ruth. I'm like, that's weird. Who's L. Ruth? Well, we have L. Ruth Matthias. Again, 2017. Okay? Right? I've not seen this before because as of now, everything in the Rico Suave stuff, and I'm not saying that's what this is, people, but just stick with me because in 2017, L. Ruth Matthias, J. Manwaring Johnson, that's her younger brother who passed, A. Isaac Johnson, who is Adrian, her brother, who all are represented by other brother, Pace Johnson. Oh, by the way, 1408 Holdings LLC. 1408 Holdings LLC. What is that? Let me see. Okay, so 1408 Holdings LLC at 1408 Military Way, Salt Lake City, Utah, February 14th, 2017. Filed with Utah State Department of Commerce. By who? Pace Johnson. Okay. So returning back then to this. So it seems like 1, 2, 3 Matthias children being represented by a fourth, plus their holding company that was, does this sound familiar to anything that we've heard from the Rico Suave case? And again, 2017, 2/21/2017. This thing, February 17th, 2017. So I'm not sure what the situation, it could be nothing. But who are they suing? Brooke Gardner. That's interesting. Rodney Blurg, Spencer Ball, Seth Richmond, John Sanchez, Juan Everest LLC, Jameis Johnson. What is going on? What is this? Is this just some sort of, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this weird? Is this strange, or is this just something that happens? Dr. B and L. Who's Dr. B? Huh? Who's Dr. B? I don't know who Dr. B is. Do you mean Dr. John? Yes. So, oh, Dr. Babe. Right. Well, Lauren, if that's who this is, right? The L. Ruth Matthias here, who's filing a lawsuit by a corporation incorporated in the same month by her brother, who then brings a lawsuit against a litany of people, plus her dad, Jameis Johnson, and it was dismissed and then subsequently sold to this corporation, not even like a year later. That doesn't feel right. So Southern Heights LLC, which was also formed in February of 2017, I don't know, doesn't have the same address, doesn't have any of that. They bought it. They bought whatever this property was, because I looked up the actual property records and I don't know where they are now, so sorry. Property rights. Yes. Anybody? Anyone? Does this feel weird to anybody? Or am I just spitballing? I could be. No, her dad was, I think, arrested and disbarred back in 2012, maybe? Because I think it was before, wasn't it? Somebody will tell me. Yeah, that's a good question. Does anybody know off the top of their head? Because I think he was disbarred in 2012 as a result. Yeah. So this is after that, right? What is it? Yeah, I can't explain it either. I can't explain it either. But the other thing, let me take this down for 1 minute. I got to make sure that I don't put up any private information here. So, all right, recap. All the weird stuff with the sex pest, right? That nicked off to Las Vegas, reportedly, according to the Ogden newspaper in 2008. Comes back, is arrested, adjudicated for assaulting his 10-year-old stepdaughter, I guess, his girlfriend's daughter. Pace Johnson steps in as the one contracted legal provider for Utah State Penn in Salt Lake City, Utah. Right around the same time, the investigation into the fake lawyer who was working for or contracted with the Pace Johnson law firm was working with prisoners. But about that specific case in the amicus brief was the concern, the deep concern they had over the PSI and the PSR and having that done correctly. I just wonder who consulted on this. Was there a consult with anybody? I don't know. Maybe. Didn't somebody? I don't know. It's odd. It's odd. Is it anything? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. How do we find out who did the PSI? I haven't gotten that far. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. So Jameis was arrested, convicted in 20. Yeah, her dad is remarried. Trying to think if I have got too much crap. Hang on. Oh, one of the other things to throw in there. Let me put this out here for a minute. Because again, all of this is just paperwork, dates, and names and proximity. So that's not enough for me to make any sort of real conclusions. It's all just odd at this point. We do know that there is the federal, the Rico stuff going on with a plurality of the family and the law firm implicated potentially in this Rico suit. Plus, if you remember, there's a space at the end for several does, several so far unnamed individuals. Oh, is that from the Fed? I think I do have it. Yeah. And I haven't been able to really cross-check the names, which is, the reason really I'm putting all this out here is because all you good people in the crank community / whatever will be able to go back, take screenshots, and I'll share this stuff and everybody can go do whatever they'd like with it. But the timing is weird. Why not put the name of a convicted child sex offender on your amicus brief, if you are so vested in due process, why hide it? Why hide it? And this person comes back to Utah in 2008, and Dr. Babe, again, these are all could all just be coinky dinks. But Dr. Babe, this isn't, God, there's another thing on this too. And again, I'm doing all the disclaimers, all the, opinion. This is my opinion situation. Where's my banner? This is all my speculation et my opinion. Okay. But it feels real weird. Let me see. Oh, somebody just said, hey, starting from the beginning. Thank you for your super chat. Starting from the beginning, but I feel I need to agree that I too have done a lot of weird shit in my lifetime. Huzzah. Yes, weird shit's fine. Just don't hurt anybody else. Keep from it. Thank you. Yes, so yeah, link to, I'm doing a speculate, 100%. Yeah, so that is actually, oh, hi, Lindsay Hendricks. I have that. Let me pull it up for one moment. Let me see. My God, my cat's going to come out here pissed in a second. I had it bookmarked and now I can't find it. Let me see. There's my bookmarks. Let's see. Nope. Crap. I can't find it right now. But the point I'm going to make here with this, with the filing in this case, not in this case, but let's travel back to the application for business for the Strive Psychology. I know Hella and Jay and people have been out there doing, the behind the scenes work to pull all this out. And I'm now looking into times. Okay, this is Strive Psychology, and I had not noticed this before because the Jody Hildebrand thing keeps coming up, and I don't think that they're connected. I think that they're connected insofar as they were in the same biz in the same town, and that Dr. John, according to Hella and Dolly's research and everything that you could find on the Internet Archive, sure as hell felt like they were doing a lot of creepy, outward bound wilderness kind of therapy for kids with sexual problems, which is like not a thing, sir, in my opinion. This is at Six Basalt Circle in Santa Clara, Utah. This particular house was several $1 million, but also as a crow flies a mile from Jody Hildebrand's house. Again, means nothing on the outskirts of St. George. Doesn't mean anything. Really doesn't. But I thought it was interesting along with the date. I just did. That me. Oh, thank you, cat lady. I too am a cat lady. Not even AKA, just straight Andy, Miss Cat Lady, if you're nasty. If you know, you know. I'm so angry right now. I'm just going to say mind blown. Well, we'll see, right? I'm holding out hope. I'm totally wrong. I'm holding out hope. I'm totally wrong. Truly, I don't want, I don't want any of this crap. But I gotta say, 2008, convicted child molester, RR, who also happens to show up in the Johnson Matthias universe in 2025 in a court filing. I don't know, y'all. Feels real gross. Feels real gross. Feels real weird. What do you guys think? I mean, honestly. Oh. Salty. Was that because of Miss Jackson, if you're nasty? Do I think the timing thing led to the move in 2015? Well, 2015. Well, this was, okay, so the interesting thing that you will note from, this is a great question. I enjoy questions. All questions are welcome. There are no dumb questions, usually. So if we look at this, so let's go back here. Now, the one thing I can say about that is so you can see here, there's 1408 Military Way, right? And I'm going back to the 2017 filing where Lauren is named. I'm assuming L. Ruth Matthias is her. And the address here is unknown. So I'm assuming that means that she's just an owner or maybe a part owner in this 1408 Military Way. So what that says to me is that she wasn't living or associated with it except in name only. So maybe she was out and trying to get out, but still that doesn't make sense either. Okay, hang on a second. For my timeline, her dad was released. Are you shitting me? Okay. We're going to have, let's see, what could we call it? Not Crime Con. It has to be something else where we can come together with a giant whiteboard and a bunch of strings and just connect all this shit. No, there's something weird here, y'all. There's something weird here. And what leads to the kind of desperation, and it's not just janky histories. It's not just horrible ethics from a journalism perspective, and for God's sakes, a psychologist perspective. But it's like this, there's something, and I don't know if it has to do with, I don't know what it has to do with. It could be nothing. But if you're running a show and you're a tiny, tiny limited public figure, teeny tiny, right? Tiny little public figure, you throw yourself on the barbecue pit of public scrutiny. And if you run a podcast that's about crime, I don't know, man. Look, it is. Okay, so we've got confirmation. So that gives another avenue to look for, because I came across this when I was doing just searches on trying to find Dr. John's credentials. So yeah, and again, I'll put all this crap together and you guys can have at it. But I do want to, while while I gotcha, and then I'm going to try to jump off because I've just been up all on this thing all day, and I've got to go back to read some more crap. Let me. Oh, what the hell was that? I was just going to show y'all. Anybody who can read my mind? Oh, hey, wait a minute. Let me just check here. Let me try to share this again, see if any of these names pop out to you. I need some hold music. Right. Okay. So this is the one that Jameis Melwood Johnson, right? Karen, Silas, Stacy Roberts, Pace, William, right? So we got some of our regulars. Oh, gravity funding. Huh. Wonder what the hell that is. Oh, and this is the part. Does through 1 through 10. What does that mean? I mean, I know what it means. But who are the 1 through 10? The unindicted. There was, you know what? There was one thing in here that I thought was fascinating. Sorry. Oh my God. I'm such a ding dong. Because I was like, I wonder if there's dates here. The only date that I could find that was remotely interesting regarding the L. Ruth Matthias et al. Property lawsuit against Jameis, her father, was in 2017. And there's something called excerpts from the MSB trust deed. What the hell is that? Does anybody know? Damn it, I did it again. Shit. So this is from the what do you call it? The big ass Rico Suave. Okay. When I was looking at this, I thought, well, what is there any crossover to 2017 to the L. Ruth Matthias? And I was like, 2017. What comes up? Okay. The only thing that comes up is an exhibit that's presented in this current case, excerpts from MSB trust deed, December 12th, 2017. Yeah, all my crap's on. Thank you for the reminder, but yes, all my stuff is on StreamYard. Anyone research how Freud psychology? Oh God, gross. Blech. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know. So does anybody know what MBS is? Gravity. So I've kind of been, there's so much paper in this instance. There's so much paper going on that it's hard to cross-reference. But I'm trying to keep it all together and happy to share all that. I'm going to put it like just a Google Dropbox. I mean, it's all pretty accessible, but the stuff that's not, that I've had to go on databases and stuff. Let's see. Sorry. Dave, is it Knudsen? Cahoots for decades. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Ding, ding, ding. You guys, we did it. Okay. Well, holy shit bags. Teamwork makes dream work. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So he was an owner, is what you're saying. All right. Holy shit, y'all. Lindsay, did you have all the rest of this stuff too? Wow. Let me see. So this is an interesting comment. If Dr. B had been the doctor involved, I could see a correlation. Are you talking about the Amicus Brief? Yeah, possibly. Sure. I mean, yeah, like I said, who knows? All I know is what seems to be a lot of coincidences. And I honestly do not think that Dr. Babe was necessarily, this is going back to the case that Pace filed for an amicus brief in. I don't necessarily think he was involved in the upfront of that in any analysis. But what I do think is that it's striking to me how fast forward to 2025 and Dr. Babe's brother-in-law is intervening on behalf of unfortunately, a disgusting sex pest predicated on the need for proper PSIs and PSRs. I mean, it's not unreasonable to think that maybe they were hoping to get a new PSR. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, her brother that passed. And okay. But I think, oh God, an attempt to flee the country. You're killing me because God knows I love a caper. So so hang on a second. Somebody said that where is it that this Knudsen fella wait, are you Lindsay? Let's see. 1408 Military Way. Wow. Okay. I mean, that's yikes. I mean, here's the thing. John could just be a terrible, not good, very bad criminal psychologist. And they just might be, I don't know, scumbags, right? Lindsay from Texas. That's all right. Welcome. We love us some Texans up in here. On it, he was doing an abscond. Thank you, Laura, fake person. It's good to see you, even though you're a robot. Dave, yeah. I don't know. What else do we need to cover here? I'm trying to keep this mother scratcher down to an hour, and we're right at it. What do you guys think? What other questions do you have? I mean, I've covered a lot of ground, but again, I was trying to do a brain dump because I don't know when I'm going to get to be back on. And I was on earlier. Got a lot of crap coming up this week. So I wanted to get it out there so people can take it and run with it, because teamwork makes the dream work. Work builds upon work. All of this could be horseshit or could be something. I don't know. Oh, of course. I tagged my name in the wrong. Can you look at question mark at the end? What is oh God, I can't. I'm not sure where it is. Tracking down. Did I find out? Dr. Vonda, are you talking to me? Did I find out any more tracking down? Oh, good one. Yeah. No, that was just, and that could be anything. So that actually, good question. Nice callback. No, I did not. But that's a whole other thing too, right, Dr. Vonda? My God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Despite the look on my face. Ugh. I didn't. There was something else though that I seem to have founded. I can't remember. Again, I'm trying to be very careful to pull these things down before I put them back up because I don't want to have anybody's personal garbage out there. That's not it. Let me see. I think I already actually went over all of it. It was just John's lack of credentials. David Knudsen also goes, okay, so here it is. Okay, sorry. Is Nevada Officer Bove, who went on grade, was that his name? Huh? Really? I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down. Bove. I didn't know that. I'll have to go back and listen to it. I'll have to go back. Yeah, RR was. So you guys got that name. The name of the offender. Trying to think of what else. What else can I leave you with aside from my doing my level best to get this up and into a form where y'all can access it. Doubt the same guy, but maybe related. You know, there's other things too with a lot of this. Well, okay, so here's the other thing that I'll leave you with. And this is just bullshit. Me just spitballing stuff that I found. If anybody wants to go on a wild goose chase, I would check South Dakota's CPA licensing board for John Mathias's. I don't know. Lindsay, massive FTC scan, of course. Well, and there's all to your point, there's all of we haven't even gotten to the Bitcoin of it all, or the buying the Wu-Tang this and that, and the offshore this and that, right? So there's this whole other realm that the youngest brother was a part of. And there's nothing wrong with being a part of that whole thing. And you know, having a lot of money and making money and buying NFTs and dealing in NFTs, but that also puts you in a circle with a lot of stone cold weirdos. So, you know, yeah. No, he wouldn't. But God damn it. All right. This is the last thing I'll do. No, I'm not going to do it because just give it a bing and see if you come up with anything. I'm not suggesting it's Dr. John, But do indeed go search CPA licenses and then share this with somebody and come back and put in the comments below what you found. And I don't know. Yay. But yeah, I'm gonna run. It's getting dark. My cat's gonna get owly. And I got more reading to do. But thank you guys for jumping on with me at the drop of a hat. Hard to say when I'm gonna see you all again. No, John Matthias is in the CPA licensing board in South Dakota, just for the hell of it. Because I think that people cross-reference with, I know that Dr. John lived or at least did some work in South Dakota at one time. Not saying he's a CPA. What I'm saying is go look it up, share this with a friend, and then come back on down and tell me what you found. And just if you think it's interesting or just plain silly. But yeah, I'll get this up and try to get it uploaded, and I'll put it in my community post, all this garbage. Until then, I will dig into this when I'm listening to my programs. But until then, just remember, I hate all of you the very, very least.